All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 358 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Atlanta Falcons and Georgia Southern football. And today, we're going to talk some Atlanta Falcons. Got a lot of moving and shaking going on after a few days of OTAs. Kind of, par for the course when you talk about the season in general. So, with that being said, we're going to get right into what has happened in the last 24 to 48 hours and give you my thoughts and opinions on all of that good stuff. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am on YouTube and Rumble. You can also find me on any of the podcast avenues, which is Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify. I'm also on Apple and Google Podcasts, so you can check me out on all of those platforms if you like. Thank you everybody who's been supporting so far. You guys have been amazing. Thank you guys so much for the support. The numbers are growing, and it's all thanks to you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. All right, don't want to hold you guys up too much on this Friday. Usually Friday, I try to keep them a little bit short, a little more laid back, but there's a lot going on here. So we're going to try to run through this as efficient as possible. So bear with me if I miss anything you want to add your 2 cents to, please put it down in the comment section, or as we if you're listening to the premiere, give me your 2 cents as well. I will try to respond if I'm not tied up with other things. So let's go ahead and get into it. First and foremost, John Cominsky has been released. Not surprised about that because John Cominsky was Dan Quinn's guy. A lot of people thought that John Cominsky was going to be what Troy Anderson could possibly be, because you're talking about a guy who came from a lower college like John Cominsky, was an athletic freak for his time. A lot of people thought he was going to be able to do a little bit of everything. And unfortunately, he hasn't done much. I think he only put together 1.5 sacks, maybe 30 somewhere tackles. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but being here for 3 years, I think he's been here for 3 years. I don't think he pretty much fit the bill. Even if Dan Quinn was still here, I wouldn't see why he would still be here. Not to say he's a bad player. It's just that he just did not produce to the level we thought he was. Because I thought he was going to be like one of those guys that were going to be up there as a starter, an outside linebacker, or a pass rush. I thought he was going to be like one of those guys. Unfortunately, new regime comes in. I'm actually surprised he was still on the team after 1 year. But we was already strapped for cash and all this other stuff been going on with the team. But releasing him, I think we save almost $1 million or $2 million in cap space, so that helps at the end of the day. So hate to see anybody lose their job or get cut or whatever the case may be, but I totally understand it when you bring a new regime in. And on top of that, you see all the other guys that they brought in, after, Cominsky, that's around his position. You brought in like 6 or 7 guys, and you're not the guy that they drafted, or you weren't here when the old regime was around. It was almost like writing on the wall. So I get it, I understand it. Do I like it? No, but it is what it is. We got other players that are going to be filling that spot. Now, when you look over to the running back situation, what are we doing? It's starting to seem like a situation with, the wide receivers. We're just signing wide receivers left and right, but now it's like running backs. We getting Jeremy Nichols. He came in from being a few places. He was drafted by Tampa Bay, was playing in San Francisco for a little bit, then went to Indianapolis, then Jacksonville, then he ended up being with the Titans. So he's been all over the place. So I don't know if they're using him for a tryout or whatever the case may be, or when they're using him for depth. I just don't know, but I'm not against it, because, you never know what the type of production a person can bring in. I'm not really sure what they're doing, but we'll see how it goes. You're still in OTAs. You're still in the early process. You still got to go through the rest of the summer before preseason start, because you just never know. He may be on the team later. He may not. But nevertheless, with his times with the Falcons with the Titans in 2020, he had 47 carries for 204 yards. He was a good receiver out the backfield as well. He had 40 catches for 295. So he kind of has like that balance that he can catch and run. So if he can do, anything of that nature, we maybe start looking at a situation where Cordarrelle Patterson may not be as prominent out the backfield as we think. So Also, that's not a bad thing. You also looking at Cordarrelle Patterson, probably be an X factor as far as a receiver. With all the other receivers we have, Cordarrelle Patterson is in a really good spot right now. He's in a situation where he could do great things, but he's not needed to do great things. Like last year, we almost used him and Kyle Pitts for almost everything. Now with all the other people around, like I said, Drake London, Brian Edwards, Alden Tate, we got all these people around him. He doesn't have to do so much. And bringing more running backs would probably be the same thing. Like, look, Cordarrelle, we're going to use you when the time is right. We're not going to try to put the load on your back. And that's a really good spot for him to be in. And for him to be, from the area, it's kind of like a local area for him being in the South Carolina, Georgia area. I mean, he has it easy. He doesn't have to do so much, and he got a lot of players around that he can help and mentor, and he can still put in that work when need be. So with the Jeremy Nichols signing, this could be somewhere up in that area where we don't have to look at stuff like that. Now, also, we put another person in the running back position. You got Avery Williams, good guy that did pretty well in the return game, saying that he may do better at the running back position. Now, what does this mean? It means that there's another slot possibly could be open for cornerbacks. Now, does this mean that we're going to sign one? No, I really believe that Matt Hankins, the player out of Iowa, the undrafted free agent, this opens up a slot for him. I don't think it's too much of a big deal to actually put him in that spot where Avery Williams was a cornerback. So you got to look at it like that. Now with running backs as well, when you also have a Tyler Algier, Quadri Allison, Caleb Huntley, you got these guys already there. Damian Williams is another one. You just adding more to the backfield. And the competition is going to be there. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody end up, getting moved because of that, because you're probably going to end up having maybe 3, I will say maybe 4 running backs. And right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now. So you're probably going to be looking at maybe getting rid of 2, at the minimum. So this is the part of the season where you get guys in a certain position to see what they're working with, see what they're willing to do, see what they can do. And whatever is out there for them to do, they will possibly end up having a spot on the team. If not, they may move them around somewhere else. If not, like I said, it could be a situation where they could be cut. But this is the part of the season that it happens, especially around the preseason. You get cuts around the preseason. You hate to hear about that, but that's how it is. So with that being said, I think these are all pretty okay moves, and I'm not really against any of it. For the most part, you don't want to hear about John Cominsky losing his job, whatever the case may be. You don't want to hear about other guys possibly moved around, adding more running backs to the team. Where does that go? It's just all tryouts right now. OTAs basically, it's all tryouts. So, excuse me. So with that being said, we're going to see how this plays out. This is a very interesting time, with the team. And now, before I go, I do want to talk about this here. We all heard about Deion Jones is having surgery on his shoulder. What does that mean? And I don't want to go too far into Deion Jones. We just had an episode about that. But I will say this: if we were going to trade him, I'm pretty sure his trade value is going down. So with that being said, there's he's probably going to end up staying on the team. No telling what may happen within the next few months, but I can imagine right now with him having surgery and being out for the rest of the off season and possibly coming back in preseason or probably game week 1. I don't think there's going to be any suitors that's going to be ready to take on Deion Jones's contract and player. So for the ones who saying that he's not going to get traded, they're looking really pretty right now, because I don't see there's any reason for them to trade him, because I don't think they're going to get much back. I mean, it's just not at this point. I mean, he just had off-season surgery on his shoulder, and what was once possibly a 3rd or 4th round pick and return, maybe 5th round pick and return, you're probably going to get nothing now, because nobody is going to, I will be highly surprised. It'd be really interesting to see what Terry Fontenot could do if that was the case, but I don't see it happening. I think at the end of the day, that front seven in general is probably solidified now. We may bring somebody else in, but I think at this point we may be looking at what we have. Cominsky just got dropped, and then you got a couple of guys that are there that are ready to go. We're probably looking at a situation where this team, the front seven, possibly even the secondary, the defense is probably already there. If anything, we're going to probably see some guys on offense get cut. Probably some offensive linemen. We're probably going to see some running backs. I'm not so sure about receiver, though. But I'm pretty sure offensive line, running back, I see those two. I'm probably going to see some more cuts by the end of the season. By the end of the off season. And I won't be surprised. We may see some guys that are actually cut that we don't know about, because you got to get down to a 53-man roster. I think right now we're probably at 70, 75. I wouldn't be surprised if we're anywhere near 90 at the moment, because you're still trying to figure out talent, what guys you can bring in that actually can make an impact that's not too, that nobody knows about. So right now you're probably looking at a situation where we're probably going to get like 40, maybe 35 people, be off the team by the time the season starts. Because like I said, you got to have a 53-man roster. Right now I'm pretty sure they may have up to the max, maybe 90 guys out there doing OTAs. So that's going to be real interesting to see. I didn't want to, prolong this episode too long. It's a Friday. I want you guys to go out and enjoy your weekend. Hopefully I touched everything I wanted to touch on. With the Falcons, they're moving, man, and I think they're gonna be surprising a lot of people. I still believe that. I still believe that this team's gonna be surprising a lot of people. Let me know what you guys think. It's gonna be a shorter episode. If you like this content, hit the like button. If you like this podcast, share this to someone else. Subscribe to the channel. Just hit that share button. It'll pop a link up. Just text it to somebody who may not know what's going on over here. I noticed a few people have done that. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. I really, really appreciate you guys. I cannot thank you guys enough. We're moving right along, getting closer to 1140 to 1150 as far as subscribers go. You guys on the podcast side of things, I see the numbers are moving up as far as views and subscription. It's just a beautiful thing. Going towards the new season, I expect this to continue to grow. We're going to continue to rise, and not only with my channel, other guys that are doing Atlanta Falcons content, because we all do our own thing in a different type of flavor. And go check out all those guys as well. All right, y'all. I want you guys to enjoy your weekend. Do something productive, do something nice, and keep those people in Texas and Buffalo. Keep those people in your prayers. They're going through a lot right now. I don't really get into that type of stuff, but we all human at the end of the day. And, hug your family and take care of one another. Take care of one another. Life is way too short. Don't want to end on that note, but I want you guys to really, just be mindful of what's going on. All right, y'all. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. I will see you guys back here on Monday, unless if I do a video throughout the weekend. I'll be around. You guys take it easy. You guys be blessed. Peace.